Okay. 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 One, two, three. Hello and welcome to the weekly word. Today is Thursday, April 30th. I'm Morgan West.
And I'm Rich Parla. Did that really well even without the script this time.
Whoa.
maybe it's the script that messes us up.
Maybe.
I don't think
It
so.
could be. Oh well.
So here we are after a hiatus,
Yeah.
um,
It
a
was
much
needed.
needed.
Yeah, it was needed. We a little bit of a mental health escape was important, especially uh during everything that's been going on. I'm hearing somebody's audio. It sounds like
Yep,
they're playing the video. Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So that's one of the things is I set up a new computer system. I built a new system, and
Sick.
I have to. Yeah, it's fun, and I have to make sure that all the volumes are correct.
Mm.
So that's what I was searching around for,
I gotcha.
but I got it.
Excellent.
Yes.
Mike, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Morgan and Rich?
We didn't even let you introduce yourself. I apologize.
I
Oh,
know. What the? Well, no. I am Mike Saforza. Hello, everybody.
Just so
yeah.
you know, your title says Sforza.
Yeah. Well,
That's right, isn't it?
that's okay. That's fine. What is it? Yeah.
That's
You
the
actually spelled it right. You spelled it right. Okay.
well. I wasn't gonna get it wrong. I mean,
Oh,
that's the least I could do
I
is spell it
know.
right for you.
Well, that was actually there was so many Mikes in my grade in high school that everybody just called me last name. So
Really,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
is that?
because uh, the group there's you, Mike, and there's Mike D. And every time I say Mike D, you answer anyway. So that's why I started calling you Sforza.
That's
Yes.
pretty funny.
Ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
Yeah. Well.
So Morgan, what are you doing?
Right this very moment.
Absolutely. I see your head down and concentrating on
I
something.
know, like I'm shading the wings of a platinum dragon.
That is awesome.
It
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 is.
does
looks
look
great.
nice.
It's
It
it's
does
my
look good.
current obsession is just mini painting. It's all I've been doing. Actually, that's a complete and utter lie. I've been doing a lot. But I've been spending a lot of time and a substantial amount of that stimulus check on buying miniatures or paint for miniatures.
Nice.
So yeah, that's something. Alex is making a joke. He's like, "Well, now you just got to start DMing a little bit more." So I guess that's in my
Oh.
future.
Wow. Fact.
Yeah, he got me. He got me.
That's okay.
But I ran a one shot a few weeks ago, just after all this started. So maybe second week of March, I guess I would say, maybe third week of March. So I haven't DM'd since then, but I'm looking forward to the next opportunity because now I've got a lot of new toys and accessories to play
That's awesome.
with.
I actually also DM'd for my first time.
Yes, I can't wait to hear all about that. Why don't you get started? You should
Yes.
like I want to hear all about the convention. How did that go?
Well, I just want to let everybody know, Rich, you deserve a lot of credit. You mean you busted your butt. You got that thing going. We only had a month, literally, to get a virtual convention going. We got the convention going. It was fantastic. Everybody who was there, they all the feedback was all positive, which is good for us for the
Yeah,
Long Island tabletop.
That's
we
awesome.
got to hear the feedback last night at the
Yes,
management meeting. So
yes, which and every feedback was good. We're very happy.
That's awesome.
And I actually, as I said, I said, you know what, I'm gonna throw my hat. I'm gonna make myself. I'll DM, and everybody that I spoken, the few people that did reply, they said it great, that I did a good
Oh,
job.
that's so exciting.
So,
so
and
you know
as
why
I
he
brought,
DM'd, right, Morgan? Because he didn't want to
No.
volunteer.
oh,
Well, he volunteers enough, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, I'm just busting his chops. No, it was his game. We did we partnered up with the Thread Raiders
Yeah,
to help pull it
yes,
off. And
that's awesome.
we did so they they helped host some of the games and helped me organize at the beginning and gave some great advice so that we could
Oh, sick.
we get
Oh,
it
that's
focused.
awesome.
So
Yeah,
it
Oh,
was really cool.
it
yay.
was very good.
Yep.
So
So
tell me about it. So how did you feel doing it, Mike?
It was different than being as a player.
For
Uh,
sure.
it's completely different. I did write a whole story out. Made some changes like literally last minute. I forgot to put something in that I didn't figure the players were going to ask, and they did. So it was a lot of
Right. And you
it
were
was
able to you thought that out just before you were playing, or you had to do
as
that on the
actually
fly?
as I was playing, somebody had mentioned something, and
Mhm.
I'm like, oh god, I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I had to make the leader like a big black dragon.
Oh, sick.
So
That's very cool. Yeah,
so
it's
I
one
had
it's definitely a different experience because there's a lot more prepping that you have to do. Well,
yes,
generally, there's
yes.
more prepping.
I mean, this was just a one shot. So, but then once I started like writing everything, the creative juices started going. I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that's awesome.
this is. I could probably do this for like do one shots.
So what do you think? Do you wanna do it more often then?
Yeah, yeah. Now that I have the more experience, I could do definitely want to
That's
try to
awesome.
DM more like just one shots. I think for now, then work small little baby steps up. So
good.
Mhm.
I thought you did great. I didn't get to see any of your game. I apologize,
I know, no, I
but
know.
it was I did hear from the players and they said it was awesome. As a matter of fact, I will tell you, um, there was one person that for the convention who absolutely did not want to be um, filmed and didn't want to be recorded and didn't
Yeah,
go onto YouTube. And so I worked with him and we worked it out and we got the games. Like Mike's game was not recorded because he was in the game. He had such a great time in Mike's game that contacted me the next day because there were other games that had open slots and he says, "Listen, I had such a great experience, such a positive experience. I don't any as long as I don't have to turn on my camera, I'll be fine." I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow, all right."
wow.
That's
So
so
I
cool.
I actually I did something.
did good, did
Thank
good.
That's
you,
so
thank
awesome.
you.
It
Oh,
was great.
congratulations.
I everything that whole weekend was a blur to me. I didn't I slept maybe 2 hours a night.
It was
Well,
last weekend, wasn't it?
Not
two
this last
weekends,
2 weeks
two
ago.
weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Like
yeah.
your Borderlands stream didn't go. I had to mention that because you were saying that to sleep.
No, Borderlands went fine. Um,
Ex-
Borderlands. We streamed Borderlands at 5 a.m. Um, so Borderlands 2, it was myself, Erica, Max, and Mike D, and we
Mhm.
streamed Borderlands for 2 hours, and it was so great. We were just blowing shit up. That stream was great. The next day, I could they never nobody texted me back, and I had to cover a slot until 3 a.m.
Ugh.
oh, that was the one.
So
That
I
was
played
the. Oh, it was EverQuest. I'm
yeah.
sorry. It was EverQuest.
So I played EverQuest by myself. Originally, there was no Spuddy in two of the slots, so I was going to be playing overnight all night, and
Mm.
um, then Rich DeLeo, is that how you say his last name?
I
But
think so.
he says, "Hey, I'll do a Magic the Arena." I was like, at 3 o'clock, I'll do the Magic the Arena. I'm like, really? I only have to play till 3? Perfect. So I did by about 2:30, by about 2:20, 2:30. I'm going, oh my god, I'm gonna fall asleep. Because I had dozed once already. I'm at the keyboard. I'm like, oh, so I start texting Rich. I'm like, Rich, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? I can get off at any time. But I
That's
made it until I logged off at 2:50. I just couldn't do it. It was just it was just too much.
aw. Aw.
But it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
There was a lot of good
Yeah,
feedback on the music,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah, the theme music
Mm.
we had going on, and B Right Back music.
Hmm.
Plus, some of the vendors made some videos and we played them in between shows.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot, but it was good.
Hmm.
Good.
And we got a lot of feedback. David Miller, who's he was running a Scooby Doo Cthulhu, which I actually did sign up for. He did such a fantastic job with that. It's the if you guys, Rich, can you put that link up so everybody can see the good job he did?
Yeah, I'll have it up before the end of the stream. Get it
Yeah.
now.
So and you if you see the job he did, everybody was pretty much good with the characters. We all played characters from the show. So I played as Fred Jones. Uh, who else?
Freddy, you played as Freddy.
I played as Freddie Jones.
Mm.
Who played? Did somebody play Scooby?
Yes. Todd. Todd Marks played as Scooby Doo.
I've never heard of that before. That
It's
game.
it's all just
It
it's Call of Cthulhu.
it is.
He just made it a Scooby Doo mission.
That's
Yes.
adorable.
Yes.
That's really
I mean the amount of work he did, it was fantastic.
Ginger,
Game Master Dave's wife, Ginger, she was
Daphne.
Daphne Blake.
Mhm.
And then we had two brothers play Shaggy and Velma.
That's cute. That's really cute.
And that was streamed. That was on you. That's up on YouTube. Actually,
That is
all the videos from that weekend are now on YouTube. They just need to be turned from private to public.
yes.
That what's his face showed me last. Steve told me last night how to export them right from Twitch right to YouTube. So that's pretty cool. Now I don't have to download them anymore.
Nice.
Everything will
That's
start
really
going
good.
over there, including the weekly words.
Sweet. That's
Sweet.
awesome. Back to YouTube we go.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so check this out, Morgan. What a great idea, and I know you know it, but what a great idea it is to say the date at the beginning of the show. Because
Oh my god.
Twitch downloads them with a cryptic file name,
Yeah.
right? And I just
Yeah.
and we're doing so many over coffees, I'm like, oh shit. I have no idea which ones these are.
Oh no.
So Dave started saying it at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, you should probably say it, yeah.
Nice.
But luckily they download in date order. So now I just have to go. Did we do it on a Wednesday? Was it a Friday? Was it a Thursday?
Okay.
So, but seriously, I was like,
That's so funny. Wow.
so Morgan, tell us. We missed you at the convention. I thought I was going to see you.
No. No, I work has been a nightmare. It's been bizarre. Bizarre. But
Forza's fault?
yes.
No.
Yes. No, I did. I really wanted to join in. I just couldn't. I've been working mostly 8-hour shifts as standard, but there's just been like very tough scheduling challenges due to illness at work, as well as just lack of like managerial staffing. So we've been all over the place trying to cover that. So my shifts are not always the same. Even the day before I'm supposed to work them.
Yeah,
So,
Dave's feeling some of that too.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Uh, uh, we're under a lot of stress, but uh, I'm pulling through. We're still here. The beach is still there. There's still waves happening, which is really nice.
Are you sure? I mean, everything didn't explode outside of our
Yeah,
quarantine?
it's really bizarre. Every morning I get to work and the sun's still rising over the ocean, and it's like,
Huh.
whoa, who would have thought it? Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Are the
I
volleyball
got
nets up?
no, no,
Ow. Darn it.
no. We're not putting those back up. At least
Okay.
we're not. Maybe Joe Volleyball will put them back up. But
Probably. But
Is that what you're worried about? Beach volleyball?
yeah, Mike messaged me
I
yesterday.
did
asking
ask her.
if beach volleyball was happening this season. I was like, doubt it.
No, because I do play beach volleyball. So gets a nice little run in. And yes, I am one of those people that will dive all over the places. So
That's awesome.
Listen, I no argument. I get it.
Do you
it's an
participate in the tournament that happens in like the mid to late July? The one
no,
that the parks puts on? No?
no, we do I did the Make a Wish one. Actually, I did that once, but you know, getting people to play is tough.
Yeah.
And jumping around from team to team could be tough, just like jumping around table to table
We're
playing
not there yet.
D&D.
Yeah. Whoa. I see what you
Oh,
did there. Let's go there. Let's make that happen.
Dad,
I
Mike.
love that. That was smooth.
Was it?
thank you.
He doesn't
I
know what he's
loved
It
it.
was.
I loved
Yes,
it.
it was smooth.
I was
But
there for that.
So that one coming a mile away. I'm like, oh my god, he's doing it. He's doing it.
so when I first started playing D&D over at Legendary Realms, I played at an 11-person table first.
Oh God. Yeah.
I
That
know. I
that
remember
was an
more.
adventure.
Yes, especially being a newer player, it was a little tough. But then I got
Sure.
switched to another table. Actually, it was Morgan's table for like one night. Then got switched back to the 11. Then went to another one that had about, maybe it was four of us, and then got switched again. And this was in a span of maybe from June, probably from June to October.
Is June when you started playing at the game store?
Yeah, June. So from June to October, I had to keep switching. I mean, I just wanted to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I started playing there in April, and we had back and forth a number of times because it was always questionable how many people would be there. But it was within a few weeks they did decide to split the table because they got to that point where they had 11 people, and it was just
And
not
even
manageable. That's two large tables, really. A six
well,
and a five. Like a five is normal to that's a normal size table, but six
yeah,
even pushing it for some DMs.
yeah. I mean, luckily, I had people at the table that were more veteran.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
So and then what's up, Rich?
oh no, no, I was gonna say. So, Mike, why don't you tell us about that? Because that's actually a good point. When you were jumping around from table to table, did the level of experience of the other players make it easier or harder?
Mhm.
It did, because every time I would jump, there would always be somebody that was like more had more experience playing the game. So that actually helped me out a lot.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then once in October, when October hit, we redid the whole world, and then that's when I had my steady five, and we were like there for about a year,
Mhm.
and then
Very
our game
cool.
ended. And Morgan was one of them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Morgan was
5
one.
seems low though. I think there were 6 of us. There
There,
was
well, there
there
was
was
six,
you
but
and I and Alex and
uh-huh.
Tyler and Karen and
But Sev had work issues,
Sev left.
and then we got
Was it just the 5
it
of us?
was it was the five of us for like that whole year, and
Me,
then
Alex,
then my
Karen,
friend
Tyler.
Jason came in.
Oh yeah, I loved him. I was sad that he
Yes,
wasn't able to stay at our table.
I know, but he's still playing. We still have our Tuesday game going, so which
Oh,
is
that's
good.
so awesome. Oh,
Even
good. How
yeah,
are you
so
guys how are you doing that?
we're doing it through Discord,
Okay,
so we still have it. Tyler was actually doing a Ravnica campaign,
cool.
so which was pretty cool. And then Jason is gonna restart off the Tuesday,
Sweet.
uh, which means that Sir Misem is back.
That's awesome. That makes me happy.
Look at Rich's smirk on that. Yes, he did get knighted. He did. Morgan was there.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
I get it. I'm just taking it all in.
Yes. So, but
You guys are so funny. It's so clear that quarantine has hit you guys. I mean, it's like grown all over your faces, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm telling you, by the time this thing is over, I'll be able to donate my hair again.
You've got like a Patton Oswald look going on, Rich. You
You'd see it in
do.
the
It's
morning.
really funny.
Grows weird. And then I
Right on.
sometimes, but if it gets lower, I'll get the the whoop
Uh-huh.
as it goes over the ears.
That's mine is usually it'll grow up and then out.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain. It grows, you know. It
Yeah.
just
There are worse things.
exactly.
Yes, there is.
It sucks.
I know.
Mhm.
It sucks.
Yeah, I hear ya.
It all sucks.
Did you feel like there were any struggles though, Mike, getting back into your topic about like switching tables? Did you find it like impacted your gaming experience? Like,
It didn't really. It didn't impact it as much as I had thought because every time I would move, it would be, oh, it was like there was two people from the like three of us from the 11 that moved, so it was people that I was comfortable with.
mhm.
What about
I
the
think the
GM?
that's another story. I had about a few.
All right,
Yeah.
We went from
we're
first.
listening.
First was from Rich Ricky, who was at the 11,
Right.
and then who was our DM? I forgot his name.
The one who perched?
The one who we had when we first got in.
Well, when I first started playing, it was John.
Yes,
John was my DM for a while at the get-go. And then we had Craig, or I had
Craig.
Craig.
You had Craig.
And that but I only had Craig for I think literally one single session.
I think he was with our table for one
And
single, but
and then I had Russell next.
that's who we had. Russ.
He perched. He would perch on the table like the rogue
Yes,
he was meant to
yes.
be. Yeah.
So I went to him, went to Russ for a session, then back to Rich, then John took over for a little, then to Al,
Mhm.
then back to Russ.
I don't remember Al.
Al was taller.
Yep.
Uh, I think I had him for a session,
Yep.
We probably
but
had him for
I
when
think he
we
was at one of the other tables though for
yes,
the most part.
for the most part. And then we went from Russell to Jason,
Mhm.
and then from Jason to Rich, and then from Rich to Dalla, I went to
Yep.
John. Then back to Tyler slash Jason because they're both running.
Yeah.
We're alternating
So
games. But that's over a 2 year span. I'm like
my
talking my first view. So
yeah, my experience switching tables, um, it was similar to yours in
mhm,
that it wasn't as jarring as I thought it was going to be. But that said, there was certainly a learning curve to getting comfortable role playing at a table with new people. Like
yeah,
opening yourself up is a struggle if you don't know the people and you don't know their game play style. Um going into a table that I wasn't familiar with, I was very concerned about. So we had there was a story arc where there was a entity on another plane that was if affecting these crystal shards, and we needed to collect the crystal shards or something along
yes,
those lines. But that was the first inter table store wide gaming event where um all of these independent stories came together in a single battle against this creature, this crystal creature, that some tables were battling on the material plane and others were battling on the ethereal plane. And that I thought was really interesting, really unique to see the characters from the other tables in game. That
yeah,
so I loved that. I
Right.
loved getting to interact with them in game. But as still as almost like NPCs, like they were foreign from us. They weren't our people.
yes.
But after that,
They
my
weren't your
my
peeps.
switched. No, no, no,
No, No.
But, after that, my table switched, and I felt a certain amount of struggle getting comfortable playing with those people, you know, not only for me as a person playing alongside other people that I'm not really comfortable with, but also as a character who had never interacted with these other characters before and was leaving a group of people that, she was confident and comfortable fighting and, adventuring with.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
so it was kind of a dual challenge in that respect that I was struggling with and my character was struggling with, and in that sense, it made role playing a little bit easier almost. But that said, I really did enjoy it. I got to play with a lot of people that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to play with. I got to test drive a bunch of DMs and find like the DM style that I preferred to play at, and play with. It was a really interesting experience, and I'm really appreciative that something like that exists for us. So like
That is. I know.
we
Uh,
really lucked out
we
that
did.
Legendary
We
Realms exists and Tuesday Night D and
yes.
D exists.
Yes. I mean, I think we also lucked out that we were able to keep like five of us together for that long a
Oh
period.
yeah.
And as the time grew on, we knew exactly what everybody was going to be doing and we anticipated the moves. So I think that makes it better. Rich, as a DM, how do you handle players constantly switching?
I'm okay with it. I take it as they come and see how they are. I'm usually nicer to players on the earlier sessions than I am with the later sessions.
Do you find you have like a lot of turnover?
No, but we actually had accumulation at my table
Mhm.
on Wednesday. Like we gained Mike
Yeah.
now, and we've gained Max. So for a
Cool.
while, we also had um William.
Well,
Sorry,
William.
yeah. So we had William for a while.
Mhm.
So but we lost him in the quarantine.
Mm,
I tried to email him, but I don't have his email. And
mm,
so and then we'd switch a couple of people, but then not a lot, but going from different games to different games, it's in different styles is pretty
yeah.
it's interesting. I like what fresh blood can inject into it,
Sure.
change it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And it's a lot. I like going from Wednesday night to basically D&D.
mhm,
Yeah.
Different different feeling. So tomorrow, like tomorrow night will be a different feel.
mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different feeling, because like for me, I'm so used to 5e, and basically I'm like, wait a minute, what do I have to do? And then you explain to me how the system works.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you roll X, all right, you rolled this. Wait a minute, where is that? Now I'm able to figure it out automatically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And like tomorrow night, like Will, he's a new voice
Hmm.
into the game.
And then
So
Chris too.
yeah. Yeah.
So
You
So
bring up an interesting point in that, there's the challenges in just changing from table to table in a game in a particular gaming system. Um, Changing gaming systems is a whole nother story. I recently started playing Warhammer fantasy role play game, and that is it's completely different. It's not a D20 based system,
now,
uh, so
no,
that was an eye opener. um, but I've enjoyed playing it. It's not the first non D20 system that I've been playing, but it's the most similar, I guess I would say, to D&D that I've played. Um, that said, I mean, it feels completely foreign still. Um, and in that sense, I've struggled getting comfortable at a table. Mostly that it doesn't quite feel the same. It doesn't feel
okay.
um obviously I know I'm still sitting down to play a role playing game, but it
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah.
less like I'm
yeah,
playing inside of a role playing game and more like I'm learning a new hobby. Um because it feels so distinctly unusual and unfamiliar. So I've been enjoying that.
That's good.
Yeah, Mike, have you found it a struggle to get comfortable in switching so rapidly between like 5e and basically D&D?
Well, I
Basically
found
DB.
it. What's up?
I was just correcting myself.
Oh no, because you broke up for a second. That's why.
Okay.
So it took me a little bit while to understand everything, but because we use roll 20, this is we don't meet at the store. This is just strict, roll 20.
Hmm.
So I'm able to see. Okay, that's where the so say you rolled 20, you tell Rich, okay, roll that, and that's the percentiles.
Hmm.
So it was pretty easy. But on Wednesday, we don't want to play D&D.
Hmm.
We want to play Shadowrun.
Hmm.
Getting used to that system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you find that um your role play style changes when you switch systems?
Yes, I think it switches more because uh with basically I'm playing as more of a range type,
Hmm.
and I usually try to play as the more of the barbarian fighter type that go smack right in.
Hmm.
So why do you think that is?
I think to an extent it's familiarity. At least
Yeah,
my instinct it would be because I find I play differently depending on how comfortable I am in the system. So with D&D 5e, I find myself often playing towards maneuvers and features and abilities. Um, Whereas in new systems such as Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay
Right.
or Masks, which I play, I do less specific actions and I role play more because I'm not
yeah,
confident in knowing the specific things that I can do that would impact a scenario for whatever it is,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
yeah.
specific features that the characters classes that I'm playing allow me. Because I'm not as familiar or like have a finger on the impact that a given thing will have.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to be more hands off and think out of the box. Think more in terms of
Yeah.
realistic, role play solution.
Bringing what you know in the
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Bringing what you
Yeah.
know in the real world to the game.
Yeah, I use charisma based
Yeah.
stats a lot more.
Yeah. We've been bouncing around to different games. I think the game we're gonna try is game
Yes.
316 Carnage Among the Stars.
Sounds
So
cool.
unpacking boxes, I found some RPG. This was an RPG we picked up at the store years ago,
Mm,
and this is based in the future. Uh, think Starship Trooper ish, and you play troopers. That's what you do. You play
Yep.
troopers, and every mission, every adventure, it, you go down to a planet, attack whatever aliens it is. That's your only mission.
mm.
The
Wow.
GM, of course, puts these together into scenes to string them together,
Mhm.
and to add in role playing and stuff like that. Um, so, but you can. It's also a deadly game. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I found the rule book, so I read it today, so I know how to run it.
Sounds
Okay.
like fun.
And
And
didn't you say it was 80 pages?
yeah, it
It
was
was
like 80.
only
It's 80 pages. That's it.
That's it.
That's
The whole
not
thing.
bad. I played I played a game called 10 Candles for Halloween last year, and the whole book was probably somewhere around like 50, 60 pages.
Oh, that's nice.
And a lot of that was specifically for the DM. Like the players don't need anything. The character creation is part of the actual gameplay, which is one of my favorite parts about 10 Candles is that it creates like a full experience. You know, you don't there's no
Right.
pre-planning or anything. You just come in and you can get down to it. And
Yep.
I loved that about that game.
Erica says it was hard for her to get out of her comfort zone. First of first because I still feel new to D&D and grown accustomed to playing a monk, and for basically D&D, a human fighter. Playing different roles was a big step.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah,
It was.
I
there's
believe
something
she's
to be said about stepping out of your comfort zone with like the
Yeah.
class wise.
I believe Erica is at her 1 year anniversary of playing D&D.
Oh my god, wow. That
Woo!
came so fast, I feel like. That's
That
awesome.
like 1 year ago
Congratulations.
today. 1 year ago, April Eve.
Wow. That's so cool.
So
Congratulations.
I'll be hitting my I'll be hitting my third. 2018 I started. So
Wow.
Very nice.
That's cool.
yeah.
Morgan,
Very
what are you up to?
I don't know. Uh if we're talking about like consistent weekly play, probably 4 years, 5 years, 5 years. If we're talking about um when I started playing, that's back in college. So
Poppy Poppins says I have pizza. That's good,
That was
Sean.
I'm jealous. I like pizza,
uh
but I did have a pretty damn good dinner tonight, so I can't be too
What'd you
jealous.
do?
pizza
What'd you eat?
pizza was my dinner.
Grilled some chicken wings with barbecue
Oh,
sauce. Oh my god, it was the
Nice.
most delicious thing I've ever had. And
Nice.
I've been marinating vegetables for 2 days that we grilled, and they were turned out delicious. And then had mac and cheese with it. Oh,
Nice.
real satisfying.
I just finished up. I went to Restaurant Depot on Sunday. Went to Restaurant Depot on Sunday. Picked up a big giant 10-pound bag of um chop meat
Wow. Oh my
and
god. What?
and-
Oh my god. 10 pounds of chopped meat.
yep. And I made a Tex-Mex
oh,
recipe. I made 2 rounds of chili.
Wow.
I made bunches of hamburgers. And I
Mm,
made 2 meatloaves and I
wow.
froze it.
Wow.
what? No sloppy joes?
Didn't make any sloppy joes. Nope.
I had meatloaf last week. It was very good.
All paleo recipes.
Sweet.
Nice.
Good for you. You still on that?
I am going through I'm going through the challenge and the cleansing again because I
Right.
fell off of it when quarantine first started.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
Good.
Eh,
my buddy over at Taekwondo just finished up his gym in his basement, and he texted me and said, "Listen, man, if you need to get out, let's come over and we can work out. We'll keep our distance big enough for us to keep our distance."
Oh, cute.
Rich, how much candy is left in the store?
I haven't touched the candy. That was John. We're rating it at the beginning. That's right.
Aw.
So
Aw.
yes, but this has been
I
an
think
experience.
yes.
But unfortunately, there's sad stuff. People that have passed away because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
Sad
are
stuff.
starting to look up, which is good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
Everything's
maybe the laundromats will open again. Maybe the Chinese food places will open up again.
they are open. You just have to find them.
That's so funny. I
Very
don't
few.
I think I think we've streamed since this happened, but so when I first started getting to the point where I was like I need a hobby when quarantine was just getting kicked off, I started painting and I started collecting the Warhammer Age of Sigmar minis. I picked up the Sisters of the Thorn and a few other boxes.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
but they come with the paint recommendations in the back of the book. And when I first started, I was like, I must use these colors and I must have all of these colors.
Right.
which is when I reached out to you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, about finding Citadel paint. And so I did a little like online research and I found that the hobby shop over in
Yes.
Bayshore Hobbies,
That's
sells
where you.
Citadel paints. And the gentleman who runs that store is like
Bob.
he's like such a character. And I gave them a call and he answered the phone in his traditional like deep voice, hobbies. I was like, oh my god, you're there. And I asked if he was still open, which the answer was no, but I'm still here. I was like, oh, can you do drive by ordering? Can I pick up from the curbside? And he surprised me. He said yes. So I was able to order my paints off of their Instagram page, which was amazing. So it's been an adventure. I've still been able to get to the local hobby shop and pick up all the nerdy needs that I've got.
Yeah,
So
Bob's a good guy. I like him.
yeah, yeah, he and I didn't get her name, but a young woman helped me. She picked out all the paints for me. And she apologized profusely because all the names were so weird. She's like, "Did you say Gorthor Brown or did you say blah 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 Brown?" I'm like, "Oh God."
So
Rich, I must have bought like 60 different colors of
I
paint.
was just about to say Morgan probably brought. I want that color, that color, that color.
uh,
I think I bought like 60 things of paint. I
Because
don't want
I
to you because I
I know
remember it.
you. Every time we would come in for like almost every other Tuesday, Morgan be like, "Oh, here's my new dice that I got." I'd be like, "Oh, here's my new dice." That's all we'd
Yeah.
compare our new
Yeah,
dice.
I've got a
So
I've got a problem when I get into
when you get
a
into
new
a hobby, that's it.
hobby,
You just go for it.
yeah,
I just go for it. That's the Gemini in me. Geminis are notorious for getting fervently passionate about new things.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I I've gotten into I've gotten into a lot of different things since I think since we've last streamed. I have gotten my 3D printer and I bought all the components for a new PC and I built that,
That's awesome.
which was fun. I haven't done that in like years.
Mm.
So I did the research, I went out, I picked up all the pieces, put it together, and then I realized I set it all up. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, oh, it has no software. I have to download and install all the software. So
Aw.
so I spent some time doing that, got it all ready for tonight. Uh oh wait.
we do have a
Poppy
question. Yeah,
Poppin, we have a question. I have a question. What is your preferred system to
prioritize.
prioritize role play and not combat? That's a good actually that's not a bad question, Sean. I'm
That's not.
surprised.
That's
That's a good
Um, so for me, it's Powered by the Apocalypse. I've
okay.
only played one game in that system, which is Masks, but um I do like no combat actions. Even which is what's unusual about that game is that even in combat, it doesn't really feel like combat. It feels a lot more like parsing out what you think strategically would benefit you and your team the most. And I do think that part of that comes down to the fact that you can't really attack people. You can, but it doesn't create. It's not a physical attack that creates wounds. It's unusual, but I would have to say, Masks is the most role play heavy game I've played that minimizes the actual combat strategy more than anything.
yeah.
How about you
Uh,
guys?
Let's
well,
see. Go
I
ahead.
actually just played Mask over at the expo at the expo, so I agree with you with that. But I think you gotta do it if you're doing like a large campaign. You got to make sure that there's enough role play so you can get the story across,
Hmm.
and then throw in like maybe minor combat in between, and then have like a big combat. That's what I'm sort of leaning towards when when I'm doing my one shots.
Hmm.
Like have a big like a combat RP, little combat, and then like a small battle, maybe like 1 to 3, and then have like another like 6, 7 enemies or 9, whatever you
Hmm.
decide. So, but
Mm,
you always want to try to make sure it's balanced.
mhm.
And try to
Yeah.
make it as a
And
balance, so that way you don't lose the players.
Yeah.
are you talking about a specific system or just in general?
I think it's just in general. I mean,
Okay.
it would all depend on what game. I mean, like for D&D, yes. For Mask, it was mostly role play. There was combat. There was role play, combat, role play. It was nice,
Mhm.
and that was at
There's a certain amount of balance, yeah,
yeah,
that
and
you can
that
have.
was like a 4 hour game I played.
Mm.
So
How about you,
eh,
Rich?
So I don't. I'm trying to think of the systems that I run, and I would think. Interestingly enough, I think 5e has moved a lot more towards role play than combat,
Mhm.
yes,
even to the point of prioritizing it. And I've seen players move more towards that or want to move towards that. I'm not sure though that 5e is the system that they're looking to
Mhm.
get that. Yes, can they get some of that experience? They can, but I don't. So I don't know if I have an answer. I know Shadowrun sure as hell.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Shadowrun has a role play segment built in. Has two role play segments built in,
Mhm.
non-combat, right?
Mhm.
Negotiating the job and the reconnaissance,
Yeah.
which they finally broke up into two phases. So they do have
Mhm.
some role play back built in, but they're combat heavy.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
combat
like
heavy.
I'd like to see, to take apart character creation and find out, on average, how much of a character of a class and subclasses, abilities, are combat oriented specifically, because I know that there would be variation based on the class you're playing. But even, clerics who, if you're playing like a healing cleric, that's still combat based because you're
Sure.
under the assumption that a player that you're playing with or a character you're playing with would need to be healed. Um, but for example, so I've got my masks character sheet right here. This is the playbook is what they
Oh,
call it.
yes,
I'm sorry. Before you go there, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
A lot more
Very
role
cool.
play. A lot more role play. A
yes,
lot less combat.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Very heavily. That would be my answer. Call of Cthulhu. I
Okay.
haven't run that, but having played in it,
Mhm.
um, I think that's a lot more role play
Oh, it
heavy.
was like my session all role play. It was literally, but you know what? It was entertaining.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
very entertaining. I'm sorry, and we had like a minor combat right at the end.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Morgan. I didn't mean to cut you off. It just popped into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good role play one.
I'm surprised I didn't think of that either.
Um,
Playbook.
but I've got you've got your basic moves, and your character specific moves, and that's the entirety of what you're able to do in the game. That isn't just describing the things that you're doing. um and I'm just looking at here specifically. I've got 6 choices for my class's moves. I'm playing the protege, which, if you're not familiar with masks, it's a under the assumption that you're a teenage superhero new to the superhero world. And so you've just joined your first team of superheroes. And this class that I'm playing is the protege, meaning that they've been training underneath the supervision and guidance of an established superhero.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at my protege moves, and I've got 6 choices, and only a single one of them is combat oriented. The rest of them are like buffing
Sure.
abilities that would help you solve problems, like solve crimes. Um, reading the files, so establishing what research you already know. Fireside chats when you're seeking advice from your mentor, you can roll um, to find out what they would tell you to do. It's real being mindful of your surroundings. It's interesting because you don't get that from D&D specifically. You get
No.
mostly combat oriented abilities that will impact how you're fighting
So
bad guys.
I think what you're going to find is if you break it down by class and subclass, even in, I think you would find for balance reasons that all classes base around combat in some way.
Mhm.
That give them the ability to either survive or last or endure or buff or help combat. I think you're
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how many of them are specifically combat oriented because some of them are just, ability boosts. I'm thinking of like jack of all trades and things like that. But it really becomes a question as to how much are you going to extrapolate and pull and say, oh well, if you're talking about, you know, athletics or acrobatics, and we're talking about being able to get out of a grapple situation.
Yep.
i, I digress.
No, 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 no. I think that was great. I think it was all part of the question. I hope we answered your question, Sean. Thank you for bringing it to us.
Thank you, Sean.
It was a really good question. Kudos. But yeah, yeah. So back to what we were talking about. So I have I got this 3D printer now, and in quarantine I've learned 2 new programming languages, and I've learned how to design stuff in 3D so I can
Okay.
print it out. I made the mistake of telling my daughter, well, it's not a mistake, that I got a 3D printer. So, and she immediately jumped up and she's like, "Oh, I need you. Can you print me this and this?" And I was like, "I think so. Let me go find out." So I practiced on what she wanted. It took me like 5 tries before I finally got the piece right.
Oh,
Okay.
Because I was learning. I had to learn the software.
Yeah.
God. Oh, jeez.
So I taught myself the software, and she wanted me to print her a scorpion
Oh, that's awesome.
so
Cool.
that she could scare her mother.
Oh my god, that's really
She
funny.
said
Oh.
she said drop it off, but don't say anything. Put it in a package that it was just for me. And I'm debating whether I should warn her mother.
Aw.
I would warn her.
I don't know. It's pretty hard to fake. The big giant orange scorpion. I don't have black. She wanted me to paint it black. I don't have any paints. I am not Morgan. I went looking for paints, but someone said Morgan got there first.
That's funny. Well, next week, who knows? Maybe I'll have that gold dragon that you wanted me to show you, Mike. Who knows?
Yes.
So that
But
brings us. So I think we should. I think we should wrap a little differently, Morgan,
mhm.
since we've already heard those questions from Mike. We're
Yeah.
getting towards the end. Let's just kind of wrap.
All right.
All right.
So, uh, oh God, I haven't done this in so long now. If you enjoyed the show tonight, you should subscribe to the channel and follow us. Um, we can be found on Twitter at LR Terrain. We can be found on Instagram at Legendary Realms Games. You can become a patron at patreon.com/the weekly word. Rich.
You could find me on Twitter at Disruptive DM. You could email me rich.parla@lrhobbies.com. You can see I haven't given that out very often.
Mm,
You can follow us here on Twitch. You can go over to YouTube and begin seeing all our videos. So go and do that.
mhm.
Um, and I think that's about it. I will be
Yeah,
here with you tomorrow morning on Over Coffee with
sweet.
John Cardello
Nice.
because Dave has got to work.
Hmm.
Ugh.
And then this weekend, Gaming Haven with the Thread
Yes.
Raiders.
Yes.
Awesome.
I will be playing in an 8 a.m. game, and I will also be hosting.
Oh,
two of
bless
their
you.
games. Helping them
I'll
Oh,
out.
be playing at a 12 p.m. game, and I just found out a 4:30 on Sunday. So I'll be playing also with them on Saturday and Sunday.
wow.
And you can actually find me on Twitter at Storm7901. I got rid of the underscore.
Am I following you? I don't
Yes,
know.
you are. Yes, you are, Morgan.
Excellent. Yeah, I guess I'll mention that. You can follow me on Twitter at Morgan Went West. I am active, kind of.
So
Thank you,
Brett,
guys. You can.
John, Brett Saberhagen, the old Mets pitcher. Wow. Wow.
All right.
It's a reminder, apparently.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, Morgan. What you were saying?
Sorry, Morgan.
I'm getting interrupted all over the place
I'm sorry. What'd
tonight.
you say?
Yeah. Jeez. What was I gonna say? We do reviews sometimes.
So,
If you want us to review something, you can send it to me on Twitter. You can email me at socialmedia@lrhobbies.com. We are taking suggestions on things to review. If you have a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about, send it to us at socialmedia@lrhobbies.com or direct message us at Legendary Realms
I'm laughing
or
at Rich
Twitter at
dancing.
LR Train.
apparently, we're going to be talking about Brett Saberhagen in the morning. You should join us, Forza. Thank you
I'm
very
a yeah.
much.
By the way, I'm a Yankee fan, so nope.
Have a good night, Morgan. Thank
have a
you.
Have a
Rich
good night,
Morgan. Have a good night.
everybody.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.